Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of the Big Blue News Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Beesmore, and we're just going to cover the UK Northern Illinois game from Saturday night. I know it's Monday night, so it's a little bit late to do this, but I will not be covering the UK Ole Miss game just yet. I will be having a special guest on my episode this upcoming week to preview the UK versus Ole Miss matchup. I'm excited to have him on the podcast. I won't say who is, but he's been very great to me, getting back to me on everything, and he said he'll do a podcast episode with me. So I'll be excited to have him on to preview that Ole Miss game. But let's get right into that UK Northern Illinois game. And holy moly, I was not expecting it to be that close. Northern Illinois had a chance at the end to actually, not win, but to tie the game to send it into overtime. Obviously, they didn't get to that chance, but they were down, 17-31, and then they had a wide open wide receiver. He got down the field. It was then fourth and goal. UK got a holding penalty called, which led to, Northern Illinois eventually scoring, making it 23-31. And instead of kicking an extra point, they decided to go for a 2-point conversion, which they did not make. And then they also had the onside kick, which they did not recover, but they came very close to recovering. Luckily, Trevin Wallace of Kentucky, he was able to recover that football for UK, and UK then got the first down and was luckily able to, get out there with the win. But that first half, second half, they did not perform up to my standards. I was expecting UK to win in a blowout. I think I had 31-13 whenever I was talking to, Otis previewing that game. And I mean, Northern Illinois, very first possession, they marched down the field, made it 7-0. Then UK, answered back, scoring two consecutive touchdowns, making it 14-7. And I thought, wow, UK has a great chance to, maybe get another field goal or another touchdown before halftime to make it 21-7. Sadly, that did not happen because Kvassier Smoke fumbled the ball, and then Northern Illinois was able to score, making it 14-14 going into halftime. And with UK, they did not play very well. Like I said, Will Levis, he did all right for the first half. He went 8 for 13, no interceptions, luckily, had 132 passing yards and two touchdowns. So if he had, a couple more completed passes, making it, 10 for 13, you would have had a pretty solid first half. Our rushing, it wasn't really great at all. Our rushing for the first half was, give me 1 second. We had 15 rushes for 70 yards. So it was not great at all for UK. And I'm ready for, Chris Rodriguez to be back this coming up week. Obviously, I won't be previewing this Ole Miss game like I said before, but UK, they did not perform the best. And we also need to get our, defensive player back with JJ Weaver. He's probably not going to be back this upcoming week against Ole Miss because he got injured in the, what game was it? The Youngstown State game, I believe he got injured, and there hasn't been really an update about him. So we probably won't get to see him. I mean, Mark Stoops obviously said week to week with, with him. And then also we lost Jalen Geiger on the defensive end. So we are hurting right now on the defensive end for sure. Hopefully every player will be fine. I doubt Jalen Geiger will be fine this coming year because I think he's out for the full year. Obviously, there hasn't been an update about him, but hopefully we can get JJ Weaver back because that's a key piece. I'm happy Chris will be back, but hopefully, like I said, Kentucky can actually, perform well because my biggest concern was the offensive line going into the season. Obviously, we had unproven talent in the wide receiver other than Tavion Robinson, but our wide receivers, they were all freshmen. They still are freshmen, but my biggest concern was definitely the offensive line just because we lost two tackles, the left tackle and the right tackle, along with our center, and losing three key pieces to the big blue wall. Man, that's a lot. And we haven't had a lot of depth with that. We have Kenneth Horsey, you're not wrong, but we don't have really a lot of upperclassmen on our O line, which we're playing freshmen and sophomores, which is causing us to struggle. And if our O line doesn't, block for us, then Will Levis could eventually get sacked. Obviously, he's been getting sacked all year, but eventually he could get sacked and, hurt, like what happened to, Joe Burrow a couple of years ago. Me being a Bengals fan and UK fan, the O line isn't the best right now for both teams. So it hurts a little bit to see. Plus, then there's no A gap or B gap for the running backs to go through. Obviously, Kavasi Smoke has been our number one running back option until Chris Rodriguez gets back. Obviously, we've lost other players. Juton McClain, I think, is questionable for this upcoming game, if I remember right. But obviously, we lost Ramon Jefferson. He tore his ACL. Hopefully, he'll be able to come back next year. Obviously, they would have to grant him a medical red shirt. But he also only played, 2 or 3 snaps before getting injured. So hopefully he's back. That would be great to have him back. But like I said, our O-line, it needs to step up because I'm not impressed with that. Obviously, UK is still performing well. They are 4-0. But I'm very interested to see how our O-line can continue to improve because, like I said, every time I've been at a practice or whatever, UK Fan Day, whatever spring game, I wasn't really nervous about our defensive side because they looked great. Every time I went to practice, it was obviously more about the O line and then our wide receivers because I do remember during Fan Day, I remember Will Levis throwing an interception at one point. I was like, no. And then it almost happened in the second half. UK got the ball to start the second half. And either the first or second play of the game in the second half, Will Levis, I thought, threw an interception. Everyone in the stands thought Will Levis threw an interception, but he didn't. It was ruled incomplete. And then the very next play, he found Barryon Brown, and he got loose, took it all the way to the end zone, scoring a touchdown, making it 21-14 for UK. And who knows what would have happened if Will Levis actually threw that interception. Maybe Northern Illinois gets a touchdown, making it 21-14 Northern Illinois. And like I said, I was so nervous whenever that happened. I'm glad it was not an interception, but I thought, hey, maybe UK got a break, making it 21-14. I said, maybe it'll be a blowout then. And then they had a chance to blow, Northern Illinois out, but left a wide open wide receiver for Northern Illinois, which is never good. So I'm just glad UK got the win. I'm trying to look at the stats and everything, see how UK did, because I think they got up at a certain point. Yeah, they were up 31-17 at one point. And I thought, man, UK's going to win in a blowout, and then they obviously, UK fell asleep on defense, leading to a wide open wide receiver, and Northern Illinois made it a game, making it 31-23, failed 2-point conversion, like I said. But other than that, I thought UK, they played great. Our O-line definitely needs to improve for sure because this can't be happening, throughout the whole season, because if it does against Ole Miss, probably not South Carolina and Missouri, but I would say Ole Miss, Georgia, Mississippi State, if that continues to happen, holy moly, Will Levis is going to continue to get sacked and sacked and sacked. And then our running backs, Chris Rodriguez, Kavasi Smoke, Juton McClain, whoever else, will always get tackled for losses instead of gains. Our O-line needs to figure it out. I think they will eventually, and I think UK will continue to be great. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about this Ole Miss game, but whenever I get my guest on this week, I think he'll come on for sure. I don't think he'll bail, but we'll talk about that. But that's all I have for tonight's podcast. I hope you all enjoyed. Hopefully, UK can win against Ole Miss, and hopefully Kentucky can continue, their role, and maybe go undefeated this year. It's definitely not likely, but it could happen. I mean, UK 4-0. Let's go 12-0. But that's all I have for tonight's podcast. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll be back with a podcast later this week with my guests so we can preview the Ole Miss game. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it.